Why do these spammy bot accounts keep following you? Do you really even need a business account and a personal account? Can't they all just be the same thing? And how many people are you supposed to be following on Instagram every day? Like, what is that strategy supposed to look like? Today we are answering your questions in our new Q&A video. Stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. If you're new to our channel, we are High Season, a social media agency that helps business owners, entrepreneurs, and marketers step their social media game up and break the algorithm. Today we are back with another Q&A video. We love the Q&A videos because that just allows us to get straight to your questions. You guys always have a ton of really great questions too, so we're gonna try to pick these up and do them more regularly. So we're gonna be filming 2 Q&A videos today because we asked for questions from you, and there were so many good ones that we're like, okay, well, we can't have like 1-hour videos. So we're gonna put these into shorter videos, and just really remember, ask us your questions below in the comments so that we can answer them in an upcoming video.
Yes, and we've been using the community tab on YouTube. So if you are watching on YouTube, which of course you are, check out the community tab because sometimes we do post some stuff in there, and the next 2 videos, most of the questions came from there. So thank you guys for those. Really,
and also, make sure you subscribe.
Oh yeah,
because that's the only way you're going to see us all up in your tab there, or in your home feed, you know. And okay, sometimes I think they put other people in the community tab home feed as well, even if you're not following them, or maybe not.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Because sometimes I see people and I'm like, I don't have any interest in this content. Right. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss when we poll people. Is it polling?
We're polling.
Yeah.
We're polling.
When we poll people for questions so that we can answer them in a Q&A video. Let's get started.
So the first question today comes from Stacy Nicole Interiors. So Stacy, thank you so much for your question. You actually asked 3 questions, and the first 2 were about SEO, so search engine optimization. We aren't the experts in that, so we've asked our good friends who run an agency that we partner with very, very often. They do a lot of that type of work. So if they can get back to us with some sort of definitive answer, we'll answer those ones. But you did ask a social media question that we can answer. Stacy Nicole says, should we have both a business and personal social media profile if you are a business owner?
Very common question.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Tiffany, would you like to tell us?
Oh, I can answer that one. Sure, I don't mind taking that one. Yes, you
Yes.
do need separate accounts. You should have a business account and a personal account. The personal account is up to you, of course, if you want to have that. If you love Instagram, then definitely go in with that. But a business account is so necessary for several reasons.
Yes.
One, analytics. That's a big, big part of it, and we think that's the most critical part, because if you're not looking at your analytics, you're not getting any data that you need to let you know how you're succeeding and if anything you're doing is actually worth anything.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to make sure that you have a business account or creator's account, but something that's going to allow you to have that analytics and get that instant feedback on how you're doing and how your initiatives are performing.
Exactly.
You also want to make sure you have a business account that's separate from your personal account so that your content and your niche is extremely narrowed down and identified for the algorithm. So if you're all of a sudden having accounts where it's like you and perhaps your spouse or your child or just you buying coffee, and it has nothing related to interior design and doesn't fit anywhere in your scope or general scope of things you talk about, you're going to confuse the algorithm, and it's not going to be able to suggest or recommend you either in the Explore feed or alongside any other interior accounts, which you definitely want to make sure that you have. So making sure that you can split your personal interests from your actual business, and also just so people can come and get the content from you that they want from you, we highly recommend that you have a business account.
Yeah, I have nothing to add to that. Nailed it.
Next question. So the next question comes from Tanika. Thank you, Tanika Cherie. How often should you follow people on Instagram?
Yes. So the real question is not how often, but who you should be following. So as far as like following, it's different to engaging. As far as how often you should engage, that would be daily and spend minimum 30 minutes until
hopefully
as much as you can, a couple hours, really engaging with.
2 hours, I feel like, is the ideal that we've seen success with, but minimum 30 minutes.
And you will see some movement, but yeah, you're going to need more time. So as far as like how often, you just follow people when you want to follow them. Is that all it really comes down to? When it makes sense for your brand. Your brand needs to be discerning about who that it follows. That account can't just be following anybody. I mean, of course, there's going to be some friends and things like that you'll be following. Fine.
Some like influencers, but that's strategic. Yeah,
it's all strategic.
All the following should be strategic,
Everything.
and then your friends and employees can follow or partners and stuff.
Just think about who you're following. Don't follow for no reason,
and don't feel obligated to follow an X amount of people.
No.
So like, if it only makes sense for you to follow that, the only people that make sense in your category altogether that you could find were 300 people or 300 brands. That's completely fine. Don't feel like you need to up that number just to up the number. Yeah. It's more about the engagement, the actual targeted interactions with those people that's going to make the real difference. The follows are more for the algorithm that we're trying to focus on there. So just making sure that Instagram can categorize you correctly.
To keep them somewhat in your niche.
Yeah.
And, we've talked about the follow-unfollow strategy, so I kind of thought that maybe this was coming from that perspective, because some people feel that that's how you grow, and that's how people did it years ago. Some people still do it today, and it just doesn't work. It's not a long-term strategy. Yes, you might get
It'll
followers.
work instantly. It's like instant gratification, but it'll hurt you.
It'll hurt you over time, exactly. So just follow whoever you want to follow, and keep it in your niche. Alrighty, the next question comes from Natalia. I won't even try to pronounce the last name, because I will decimate that. Now, Natalia said she recently downloaded our Instagram checklist, which you can download in the description below. That'll give you a nice little snapshot of making sure you're doing all the right things for Instagram. Now, she noticed that she was getting follows by accounts that kind of looked spammy, and she wasn't really converting as far as likes. So she says, I wonder what would be the best strategy to fix this problem, and what do you think the mistake is that I made? Is it my hashtags? So do you have any thoughts on that one?
So the hashtags could definitely be a cause of what's having you get spammy followers or bots following you in general. I don't know if you've seen our hashtags video, but we'll put it up there for you, and we'll also put it in the description below. But we talk about making sure that the hashtags that you're using are niche focused with a very, very few popular hashtags, which is just 5 mega hashtags. And you do take the risk, if those aren't good quality hashtags, that they could have spammers and bots attached to it. And there's not really anything you can do. That's just the type of people you'll see on a YouTube video. If you look in the comment section right now, there's going to be spam on this YouTube video
every single time.
And it also just happens with Instagram. It's just not something we can avoid. I don't know what their purpose in life is, but that's what they do. But definitely, if you have too many large hashtags, especially the really bad ones like follow for follow, like for like, or anything that's just like love, like way too big, you're definitely not going to rank on those. 1, so it's a waste of your time, but 2, there are likely to be spam and bot accounts attached to that. Another thing that you mentioned was that you weren't seeing too much of an increase in likes. There are a few factors that can impact this. One is the content. So without seeing your content, I can't say for sure, but content is big in this. So making sure that you have top-notch content that makes people want to engage with your content is a big deal. You also want to make sure that your content's optimized, so every post that you share is optimized. We'll also leave a video for you that's going to be there in the description below, and that is about what to do before you post. So all the things that you need to do, what that posting process looks like step by step. And I think that could perhaps help you optimize your content a little better. And let us know, keep us up to date if you see an increase in engagement with those practices. Okay, so the next question comes from Saria Anissa or Soraya. Yeah. Let us know. Just put the little, like, this is how you pronounce it in the comments below for us. But you had a great question. You said, okay, so when it comes to creating an Instagram for a business, how long would you suggest posting and engaging before posting what it is that you're selling? So, like, how soon are you, like, getting into the whole promotion of the product type deal or service? Is there a certain amount of followers you should have, or a certain amount of posts that should have been uploaded?
Yes, absolutely. So we have a video about this, don't we, that talks about the amount of posts you should, like, how you should roll it out. I know we did something recently.
Oh, how to start your Instagram account from scratch?
There you go. That's what I was thinking of. So we'll pop that there if we haven't run out of cards and down in the description. So essentially what you need to be doing is creating those content categories. And we always say for a brand new account, you want to do 9 to 12, preferably 12, I guess, posts before you start proactively engaging and trying to bring people to your page, because no one wants to go and follow the account with like 1 or 2 posts. It's just not going to happen unless they already know you. So first of all, if you establish your content categories, you want to tell the story of your business, at least in those first few posts. So you probably wouldn't be selling immediately. Now, it's all about the way you position things. So the sales could be subtle. It could just be like, for resources, hit the link in the bio and you send them to your website, and then you've got this online store there. But you can mention what you're selling. You explain the ethos of the business, why the business started. For example, this is quite generic, but the idea would be that it wouldn't be direct, blunt sales, because people don't really want that, particularly up front.
Yeah, you haven't earned their trust Yeah.
No, that's it. Exactly.
Yeah.
So try and tell the story of the business first. Let's get that out of the way. Make sure your content categories are properly represented in those first 9 to 12 posts. And some of those will, of course, include sales posts, but be tactful. Don't make it super obvious. Down the track, maybe, and you've got, an established follower base, you'll be able to just flagrantly put something out there and it won't be a problem. But early on, I would say be cautious of that. Be aware that the audience is new to you. They're not really familiar yet. You need to get them familiar and provide value or entertainment or something that keeps them coming back. So think about it like that. Imagine what you would want to see if you went to someone else's account and it was a newish account, and how would you like to be informed about what they do? Think about it like that.
All right, guys, those are the questions for today in our Q&A. I think we're about 15 minutes, probably a little under 15 minutes once the editing and everything is included. Thank you so much for coming back to watch another video, and thank you to everyone who asked us a question.
Yes.
We will be having another Q&A video that's coming up shortly. I think we might roll them out on Sundays for a little bit of time.
Yeah, it feels like
a nice Sunday way to get some knowledge and also questions that you already might have had and never asked yourself, or just questions and perspectives from other people and what they're thinking of that maybe you weren't thinking about. So I think this would be good for a nice Sunday visual.
Casual, get a coffee, or maybe a glass of
drink
wine.
Of your preference, and get some knowledge. Even though I guess other people are just going to watch us on other days too.
That's true.
There's always a day for coffee and other liquids, all right? Any day is a good day, and every day is a good day to learn.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, right?
It's a good one.
All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe below, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other videos from us. Follow us everywhere on social media at High Season Co. You can check out our resources at highseasonco.com, and we will see you in the next video. Until then,
Peace.
Peace.